Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Tuesday Tips. My name is Michael Barber, and I'm joined today on a conversation on all things teacher retention by Dr. Charlotte Pullins. Dr. Pullins, it's good to see your face again here.
Nice to see you too, Michael.
Good to spend a few minutes with you. As mentioned, we are going to spend 10 minutes on our Tuesday Tips today, talking all things teacher retention and wellness. And we brought back a guest. Y'all should know if you've been watching our Tuesday Tips, and that's Dr. Charlotte Pullen. She's joined us a couple of times to talk about this topic, so we're happy to have her back. We're going to kick it right off with some questions that we think are going to be really impactful for the conversation. But if you're joining us live, please feel free to hop into the live chat, and we are more than happy to answer questions that are coming from you live as well. So, Dr. Pullins, let's start at the top of the hour with how can we create a positive and supportive school culture that encourages teachers to stay with us for the long term? Any thoughts there?
Well, and there's a theory that was um, produced by Ben Dura called social cognitive theory, and it really frames teacher self-efficacy based on social contacts and interactions and environments that teachers have at school. So one way I think using that research, relationships really matter. School districts need to first form great relationships with their teachers, giving teachers an autonomy and trust, creating a shared vision, teacher recognition and appreciation. That could be just going into the teacher classroom, leaving sticky notes. Remember, for every negative, a teacher needs 6 positives. Also, communication, feedback are all great ways in order to increase that teacher's self-efficacy, and also wellness programs. Remember, just creating a positive and supporting culture, keep it ongoing, collaborations between teachers, parents, and the community to help teachers really will grow your teachers professionally and create an environment that is they feel is that the school is committed to helping them continue to teach and continue to teach as long as they can.
Yeah, such good insights there. I think it's of particularly importance this conversation we're having this morning. I know you and I saw this poll from the National Alliance that was conducted by the Harris poll. It
Hmm.
found that something in the neighborhood of 97% of all public school teachers say they wish people understood how demanding it is to be a teacher. I think for those of us in the field that are around school leaders and teachers, we understand those demands probably more acutely than everyone.
Hmm.
And I think it's important, especially for teachers these days, under the amount of pressure that they are
Yes.
given a post-COVID experience in school, learning loss, pressure
Yeah.
from voices that we never expected to have. Um, a question that comes up often is, okay, so how do we help teachers continue to grow? How do they continue to get that professional development and hopefully get the support that they need? So, is there any
Mhm.
specific professional development opportunities that have shown to enhance teacher satisfaction and retention?
Well, it's crazy because about $18,000 is spent on per teacher for professional development. But out of that professional development, only about 30% of teachers get something from it. So what can we do? Well, we can improve the way we're giving professional development, make it more interactive. If your school district doesn't have access to great professional development, online courses like Coursera or edX are great platforms where you can use and not create the professional development yourself. Also, professional development on cultural competencies, inclusion, those kind of workshops help teachers work with other teachers, help teachers work with students better. And also, I think it's really important that you personalize learning. Give the teacher the power to pick and choose what they need to know, and who knows best what they need, the teachers themselves. Also, I love to see teachers have professional development that's cross disciplinary. So that's one teacher from a different that teaches something different with someone else because they learn from each other. They learn strategies that they might not have known or thought of. Those are great ways to improve your teacher professional development. Also, remember the effectiveness of your teacher, your professional development is going to be based on the specific needs of the teacher.
Mm.
We need to know what the teachers know what they need, and that's really important. So it's essential to offer a variety of professional development, so that teachers can hone in into the things that they need and increase their teacher self-efficacy. So just be innovative. Find approaches, different approaches from everywhere, but most importantly, you want to have a positive impact on teacher retention, with professional development, and that's by finding the correct one for the teacher.
Yeah, I think the interesting one thread between both of your answers around how we can create this positive and supportive environment and how we can create specific professional development opportunities for teachers is you're really helping teachers be seen, right? So you're
Mm-hmm.
helping, that when you talk about just simple post-it notes, it's reflecting,
Yeah.
even the smallest things to the biggest impacts that they have
Yes.
on in your school when you're talking about professional development and helping them guide their path because they know where they
Mm-hmm.
need that learning and that help. It's again allowing them to be seen in that process.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically on conversations about belonging, you're again reflecting that need to be
Yeah.
seen as an individual that's contributing in that school experience. I think that's such an important thread you've created there.
Great. Thank you.
For sure. I want to talk really quickly about, a big topic of conversation right now amongst districts and whether, and even across all the different types of spectrums of schools, whether it's charter or otherwise, are compensation and benefits. Is there anything that you've seen, where you are in Arizona or you've seen nationally that are innovative approaches that either districts or charters are utilizing to positively impact teacher retention without, breaking the budget?
And that's a good question, because a lot of school districts would say, well, we don't have the money, there's no money. So if you think about it, in year 2000, 2021, the average teacher salary was only $41,770. That's not a lot of money. So what can we do to help teachers without districts or charters breaking their banks? Have someone who specializes in student loan forgiveness. That's a person can help the teachers navigate finding the money that they can, not pay to the government anymore. That's public service loan forgiveness. There's the teacher loan forgiveness. Also, something I utilized was the Perkins loan forgiveness, and that was based on teaching in a school that was predominantly low income. Another thing is flexible work arrangements. A lot of school districts are going to 4-day work weeks. That's a
Hmm.
great way to help teachers and keep them engaged at your school. The Teacher Next Door program helps school district helps teachers get housing. A lot of places, especially in California, and it's really big. They're big. They have a big proponent for stipends for teachers in their housing. So one district is Daly District in California is one that has implemented that, where the teachers get a stipend for living. Okay. And then there's also childcare stipends. You just have to be creative. The school district have to be um, creative and responsive to the needs of the teachers, and prioritize those in little ways. Those small initiatives or programs helps focus on teacher well-being, their health, and just increases their retention.
Yeah, such good insights there. I was actually listening to a conversation with a school leader out of Rochester, New York, a few weeks ago, who was touching on something you mentioned, and that's housing allowances and making
Mm-hmm.
housing allowances more affordable for teachers. I mean, I can't even careers that pay enormous of multiples more. People are struggling to find housing in big metro markets right now,
Mm-hmm.
big urban densely
Right.
populated markets, and for teachers it's no
Yep.
different, right? And we can't get to this place
Right.
where our teachers are having to live an hour 2 hour commute outside of the communities that they're in. They're not going to understand the needs of that community. They're not going to be able to hear
Right.
the voices, to feel the beats of and the feelings of that urban community. So we've got
Right.
to be thinking, at a federal, state, and local level of how we can create
Hmm.
housing affordability opportunities for
Right.
teachers given their salaries. So such good insights there. You touched on this really briefly in your last answer, and this is gonna be our last question. So if you're live with us right now, please feel free to pop them in. But we're hitting that 10-minute mark, and we like to respect your time. But you touched on teacher well-being and mental health. Are there any specific initiatives or programs that could contribute to higher retention rates when we talk about well-being and mental health for teachers?
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, we have to remember that teacher well-being is very important, especially in the times of COVID isolation. People's self-confidence has decreased. Their teacher self-efficacy has decreased. So we want to increase those level of high well-being, and higher well-being correlates to higher engagement, higher productivity for teacher, more teacher presentism. Teachers are present more. So when we increase that, what's called psychological capital, we increase teacher satisfaction, we increase their commitment to teaching, and we increase their performance. So that decreases their stress, that decreases their anxiety, that decreases all those things. So what can you do as a school district? Well, there's mental health awareness, things that you can do. Okay, there's one book. First thing I would say is for administrators to get a book called Onward. It's about teacher resiliency, and it's the author is Elaine Aguilera, and what she does is she tackles teacher stress and pinpoints how you can, as a district, help that. There's also an online component to her book, but things mindfulness. Get your teachers into that. There's an app called Headspace for employees that helps. Also, professional development on mental health. There's a great program called Second Step Adult that goes through teacher resilience and burnout and stress. Remember the flexible work week. You can have mental health days at your school, things that don't cost money. You tell teachers you have to leave on time. There's no homework. There's no parent teacher conferences this week. Give that to your teachers. Support groups. What you need to do is just prioritize their well-being. Create programs that can help and support them in creating a caring environment. That's what's going to increase your retention rates. And that's what's going to equip your teachers to better manage the stressfulness of the profession.
Yeah, such good insights there. And I'll add
Mhm.
one more to what Dr. Pullins shared. In 2 weeks, we're bringing Caroline Poland, who is a trauma-informed mental health practitioner, to our webinar
Mhm.
series. So feel free to hop onto our website, charterschoolcapital.com, and register for that webinar. We're doing teacher mental health this month, and next month we're following it up with student mental health, two huge topics right now for school leaders.
Mhm.
Well, we're
Definitely.
12-ish minutes after the hour. We like to respect our Tuesday Tips 10-minute limit to the amount of time we can take from our listeners every
Mhm.
single week. So we're gonna call it a day. But Dr. Pullins, we appreciate you being here again with us on YouTube Live for Tuesday Tips,
Thanks
and
for
we'll have
having
to.
me.
Of course, it's our pleasure. We'll have to have you back in a few months and chat more about what's happening in the space related to teacher retention. This
Yes.
is a big challenge for school
Mhm.
leaders, continues to be. Every time we ask school leaders at conferences, what's your biggest challenge? Teacher retention is always in the top three. So we will, of
Yes.
course, be bringing you back. I do want to say a big thank you to you. You helped us build a guide that's available on our website around teacher retention, just an incredible guide. You all are welcome to go check that out. And we really appreciate you adding your voice to not only our guides, but also YouTube Live. So thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah. So I'll wrap it up there and again, say thank you to Dr. Pullins. We are here every Tuesday for 10 minutes talking all things challenges for school leaders. And we hope to see you back here next Tuesday. Have a good week, y'all. Take care.
Bye.